We've got a massive problem. Okay, the biggest update since Animal Crossing New Horizons was dropped in late 2021 has hit, and it holds a humongous, catastrophic, cataclysmic problem, and there's no avoiding it. So we're going to talk all about this. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Animal Crossing back in the channel rotation. What the freaking heck? A new update. A huge new update. One that dramatically changes the game and makes significant updates and upgrades and boasts maybe even hundreds of hours of new gameplay. Yeah, I think if you take it all together, we're talking about hundreds of hours of new gameplay in the latest Animal Crossing update. And I don't think anyone thought something like this would occur because Animal Crossing New Horizons was dropped by Nintendo in late 2021. If you recall, they released 2.0, which was like a kid in a candy store for a long time. So much at once, all new features, an expansion, just a whole bunch, right? Thousands of new items. It really revolutionized the game. And then that revolution was met with, oh my gosh, we've left the building. They shut down the Animal Crossing studio and they closed the doors and everybody went to Whataburger and just sipped sweet tea and laughed because they sold 50 million copies and didn't continue to update. Well, that has changed this weekend, but there's a huge problem. If you know the big problem, let me know in the comments down below. I'll give you like a second. Let's see if you can guess it. Can you guess the huge problem? It's a massive problem. It's not a glitch. It's not a game crash. The massive problem here is that this update was not officially made by Nintendo. Yeah, let that sink in. The biggest update to Animal Crossing New Horizons since they dropped the game in 2021 was not made by Nintendo. And what's even weirder about this is that it betrays what Nintendo's baseline foundational philosophy is about the game, because this update introduces restrictions and routes and things that Nintendo would consider limitations. You see, Nintendo loves Animal Crossing because it is open and it is for you and it is never changing. They love the idea that Animal Crossing today will be very similar to Animal Crossing from 3.5 years ago. And they want that to be the case 3.5 years from now. And they love that there's no one telling you what to do. They dabbled with it. They had some early game quests, but that quickly left the port. They were like, okay, we're done. That ship has sailed. Get back to doing whatever you want. And there is a certain satisfaction to that, don't get me wrong. But what this new update introduces is a bold idea that actually restrictions and rules and paths and quests and objectives actually increase the enjoyment of Animal Crossing, which I think might be the most important takeaway of this entire debacle. It's that Animal Crossing, with more rules, with more gameplay modes, with more guidance, and with more quests, actually is a super fascinating, engaging, and obsessive experience. Now, let's just cut to the chase. This update is brought to you by Nintendo. Good friend of mine. He's always trying to revolutionize, evolutionize, resuscitate, CPR the Animal Crossing community, and I think he's done it in the most impressive way yet. I am not being goaded into make this video. I'm not being paid. I'm not given like a cool pat and his new puppy high five. I just legitimately think this is so impressive because what Nintendo did was something that Nintendo couldn't fathom doing. And in fact, something that goes against, I'll say, their moral code with Animal Crossing. He introduced Rags to Riches, this massive update that he himself created. And the fun part is, Nintendo doesn't work at Nintendo. He didn't develop anything. He didn't code a single line. And he didn't add anything to the game via hacks, emulators, or a PC. He literally just made a rule list and classes. Now, you would believe that this is limiting, that this is restrictive, that this goes against AC, but in fact, everybody is very excited about it, and I think it's freaking incredible. Rags to Riches is a new mode where you start a new island, you have daily rules, villager rules, economy rules, but most importantly, you have classes. You've got these 4 classes: Farmer, Forager, Fashionista, and Fugitive. I guess we're just quadruple effing it up here. Maybe, in fact, this is Pat's FU to Nintendo. I'm sure he wouldn't view it that way, but I will because, look, Nintendo won't do anything with this game. And I think it's impressive that a creator, an individual, a non-developer, is able to basically mix around Animal Crossing like we're on some sort of carousel, and through spinning what's already there into more interesting ideas and ways, we've got classes that have restrictions, we've got endgame objectives, and we have a whole new mode and a whole new way that you can play Animal Crossing that makes things really exciting. One thing that I've learned about game design, and I think it's become blurred by the recent, or maybe not even recent, but everybody wants to make open world, and they think sandbox is the way to go. Let the player do everything and they'll have more fun. But something I've seen over the years that has proven true time and time again is that actually restrictions are what enhance the fun. Being able to do everything and anything, go anywhere, always, that actually ends up being bland. It seems counterintuitive, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And what Rags to Riches has introduced is restrictions. And these restrictions are what makes this fun. It's what makes this update fun. The farmer has to wear farmer overalls. The farmer has to pay Leaf a 20,000 bell fee if he appears. The fugitive has to wear a superhero mask or a paper bag hood. The fugitive's island must start with the letter G. The fashionista has a 3,000 island entry fee instead of 2,000. He has to complete the art critipedia. And the forager, if Sahara appears, you got to pay up. And the only island that can craft items for objective number 9 on the endgame objective, so you have to rely on other foragers. Rags to Riches not only introduces restrictions, it not only introduces objectives and quests, but it introduces a reliance on other players for more than just a really long load. I love what Nintendo Talk has done here, and I think it's disgusting that this is the best thing we've had from Animal Crossing since Nintendo gave the game up. And that's no slight against Pat, it's actually a real, just incredulous wow to Nintendo. Why have they not done anything? And I hope that Nintendo sees this. I hear often that game developers and publishers do pay attention. They pay attention more than we know, and I hope that they pay attention to this. I think it's totally fine to have Animal Crossing have a baseline mode where you do whatever, go wherever, explore whatever, and it always stays the same. And I think it would also be very interesting to have some sort of additional modes that can allow this game to exist beyond just, oh, whoopee, I did International Museum Day again. Nintendo is a little bit arrogant and narcissistic in the way that they think we want to do their holidays over and over again, because in their minds, Animal Crossing replaces the real world. And for a time it does. But then there comes a time where you need something new. You need an injection of fresh blood, you need an injection of fresh challenge, and you need an injection of fresh fun. And what's crazy here is this required $0 development dollars. That's the brilliance of what Nintendo Talk did. He didn't develop anything within the game, he developed it because of the game. That makes sense? He took what's already there and he just reorganized it into something brand new, exciting, and fun. And Nintendo could have done this without paying hardly anything. They might have needed a few idea sessions. Heck, they could have embraced the creators that have become synonymous with this game and allowed them to help ideate on what could come next. If Nintendo introduced an official Rags to Riches type update, official classes, official rule sets, even if they didn't modify the game, that would be massive. It would be viewed as a big win. The sad part about Animal Crossing is not so much that we didn't get new content, but it's that Nintendo decided that creating a consistent stream of fun was not worth their time. Because that stream of fun did not have to necessarily be new content. In fact, there's more they could have recycled from past games, past partnerships, and past villagers, yet they chose to do none of it. Now, perhaps you could say that some of this is because they want to make a new game themselves, but that's still years away, and so right now we're left with Rags to Riches. And I think we're left with something super cool. Nintendo Talk has done what Nintendo won't talk about, and Nintendo won't do, and created a very exciting, interesting way to resurface Animal Crossing by utilizing what already makes it great and just extrapolating, just experimenting. Nintendo played it so safe with Animal Crossing Horizons, except for the small period of time where 2.0 was new. I would say that was a risk. They dumped it all at once, whether it's because of COVID and pandemic planning, whether it's because they always wanted to do it that way, who knows? Delays, I don't know. But they had one creative, crazy week. Well, I'll say two. The first week of the game where you're uncovering terraforming and all that, and then the week around Update 2.0. But other than that, they played it super safe. That's how they play with most of their franchises, but there's hope. Mario Bros. Wonder shows that Nintendo can greenlight a crazy idea. They can greenlight a crazy project, and maybe things like hard mode and Rags to Riches and other things I'm sure communities across the internet have come up with will inspire Nintendo to be a little bit more risky with Animal Crossing. And I think it's important that the community around Animal Crossing not only embraces things like Rags to Riches, but also realizes that it's with restrictions and changes and curiosity that we create enthusiasm. I think Nintendo knows there is a faithful base that is so nostalgic and so stalwart and stubborn that they would not want anything to change. Yet I ask those people, how excited were you to see hard mode? How excited were you to see Rags to Riches? How excited are you to see new content for a franchise you love? Because evolution and change is inevitable, and man oh man, I think we should open our arms and bring it aboard. Because another ACNH with a 2-year lifespan that just relies on the same old, that will be even worse next time around than it was this time. So kudos to Nintendo Talk. Kudos to everybody that created or worked on or helped implement this. It's fantastic. It's ingenious. It's awesome. I have massive respect and I'm so impressed. And it just makes me that much more disappointed and unimpressed by Nintendo because they didn't even have to add anything new. We're not asking for a new map or a whole new catalog. Just literally put in some objectives and restrictions and people would be just happy as a clam. Rags to Riches is super cool. You can click the link in the description down below to find out all the details from Pat and the creators that worked on this. Farmer, Forager, Fashionista, Fugitive, 4 Fs, and maybe an F for Nintendo. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your take in the comments down below. And until next time, everybody, SwitchForce out.